Hello everyone and welcome to Medford Anywhere Learning TV. We're glad you're tuned in. We want to give a shout out to our friends at Southern Oregon PBS, KTVL, KDRV, and the Dove Network. Thank you for hosting us on your station. In the Medford School District, we have one shared vision, and that we believe that all are learning, and learning is for all. And what better place to do that than right here on Medford Anywhere Learning TV.
Hi, Zoey Boyles here from Oak Grove Elementary, and I am excited to bring some learning to you at home today. Well, I decided to bring to you one of the best skills, in my opinion, that you can learn at an early age. And it has to do with this very thing right here. Does anybody know what this is called? It's a deck of cards. Now, I don't know why it's called a deck, but it is. And you might find boxes of cards at your house that look like this. This is a famous brand. You also might have ones with silly things on them, like this has Hershey's Kisses, enough that I want to eat them. That looks delicious. But hopefully, you can find a deck of cards. And today, I'm going to teach you about shuffling. Shuffling means mixing them up. And the hardest part about shuffling is just getting your hands right on the cards. So I'm going to show you how to put your hands on the cards. And here's my warning about shuffling cards. It can feel frustrating at first, but that's okay because it's okay to make mistakes and you don't want to give up. All right. So never give up. And the more you practice, the better you're going to get at it. I'll tell you a secret. I've taught every first grade class that I've had at Oak Grove Elementary how to shuffle cards, and it's only taken me one day to do it. Can you believe that? So if you have faith in yourself, I know you'll be able to do it too. Let's get started. Let's look at our deck of cards. I'm going to move these other ones out of the way. So when you have a deck of cards, my hands are adult sized. They're a little bit bigger. Now, my husband, Alex, he has longer fingers, so shuffling is really easy with bigger hands, but I can still do it. The first thing you need to do is you need to make two groups of cards. Okay. So I have one group of cards here, two groups of cards, and they look about the same height. You can see that they're about the same. It's okay if they are not perfectly even. We're not going to count them, but I have two decks. Okay, or two piles. The first thing you need to do, or the next thing you need to do, is you need to pick them up, and you're going to pick them up in kind of a special way. So the way you're going to pick them up is with four of your fingers on one side and your thumb on the other. I know it's going to feel kind of weird at first, and you might feel kind of tangled up, but can you see how I have all four of my fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here on one side. And if I turn it around, you can see my thumb. That first part of my thumb is holding the other side, okay? So that's the first thing that you need to do when you pick up the deck of cards. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to pick up that pointer finger. You can give it a little wiggle, and you're going to move it. Oh, this is a little hard. It's okay. We can do it together. You're going to pick it up and you're going to make him stand right there on the deck of cards. Okay. Can everyone do that? And so now let's see what it looks like from the side. Now you can see that I can push with my pointer finger and I can bend a little bit with my thumb and my other fingers, and I can make it bend just a little bit. The bend is important when it comes to shuffling cards, okay? So we're going to bend those cards just a little bit so that you can see how the cards will come off of your thumb, okay? Now, my students always tell me, Mrs. B, this is the hardest part. The hardest part for them is picking up the other deck because, man, these cards can be slippery. So do your best to pick it up and don't let go with your other hand. Pick it up. Sometimes I kind of use my other fingers, but I'm going to do that same thing. Look how I'm picking up with all four of my fingers here and one thumb on the side, okay? And I'm going to do that same thing. Lift up my pointer finger, wiggle it, and then make it stand on top. Now, if you have nails like me, don't poke your nail into the card. That's going to hurt. So make sure it's the pad of your fingers that are holding the cards. Let's look at that from the side so you can see what both sides look like when you're about to shuffle. This is a perfect shuffle. Now, let's notice which fingers of mine are next to each other in the middle. Can we see? Is it all of my forefingers or is it my thumbs? Not those ones. It's my thumbs. It's going to feel kind of weird because you might feel kind of tangled. So I'm going to give you a hint. If it feels too hard to shuffle right like this, maybe you need to stand up. When you're higher above the table, it's easier to shuffle. So don't try to shuffle above your head because that's going to hurt your arms, okay? Let's look at what a shuffle looks like. Let's do one. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm pushing with my pointer fingers. I'm bending a little bit with my other fingers. And now I'm going to slowly let go of the cards with my thumb. What did I do with the cards? Can you see what I did with those cards? I made them overlap. That means they're on top of each other. I made sure they didn't overlap too much. I don't want them to go all the way through because that would be kind of tangled. That might be hard. But I let go. They're all kind of overlapped, and now I'm going to push them together. Now, there's a fancy move that you'll be able to learn when you're older called a bridge. I'm not going to teach that today, but let's try it again. Do you remember the steps? Let's divide it in half. 1, 2. They're about the same. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up my cards. Remember, this is the hardest part. Lift with my forefingers. I kind of put them together with my pinky and my pointer. I put my thumbs in the middle. Ooh, I almost dropped it. I'm going to fix it. Even adults make mistakes too. And now I'm going to push with my pointers and let's release. And I'm releasing just a little bit at a time. Can you see how they're just overlapped a little bit? And now I'm going to push them together. Now let's see what it might look like when you first start, because it is okay to make mistakes. You will make mistakes when you first try this because it's new and that's normal, okay? This is what happens when some of my kids do it for the first time. And they just kind of flop the cards down. They also sometimes have a hard time letting go and the cards just fly all over the place. That's okay too. Don't get frustrated. That's the best thing you can do. Take a deep breath and try again. So let's do it one more time together. I'm going to divide it in half. It might not be perfect. I think one of my piles might be a little bigger, but that's okay. I'm going to pick them up with my pointer finger and my thumb. I put my thumbs together. I'm going to pick up my pointer, put it on top, bend the cards. I got to get in really close so my knuckles are almost touching. And now release the cards a little bit at a time and push them together. I hope you have fun practicing shuffling cards at home. We're going to use it in just a little bit with a card game that I'm going to teach you. We learned how to shuffle cards today, and there are a lot of games that you could play at home with a simple deck of cards. I know the game Go Fish, and you could play Go Fish with cards. You could play the game War, where you each lay down a card and you see who has more, and then you get to keep the cards if you had the highest card. There are so many games you could play. I am going to teach you one of those games today, and this is a great one to practice your math. I know, it's a deck of cards, which is like a fun thing for games, but you get to practice schoolwork? Mrs. B thinks of the craziest things. I know it. Now, when you get your deck of cards, there are some special cards in a deck. And there are 2 cards that are called jokers. They like to make jokes like my Thunderwear joke. And so they look like this, and they have someone, it kind of looks like a king, and he's riding a bicycle. We don't need those. Those are kind of like wild cards. So I'm going to put those aside. The other cards, and I made this deck up special. I wanted to be ready for today, but the other cards are very colorful, and they have a Q on them and then a lady. They have a K on them, and they have an older looking gentleman, and then they have a J on them, which is my son Jack's name. So they have a J for Jack, and it's got a younger looking gentleman, and these are called the royal cards. Now, while they are amazing and very cool, they don't work very well for the game we're going to play today because they don't have numbers on them. So we're going to take out all of our royal cards. There should be 16 of them. No, excuse me, 12 of them because there's 3 of each suit. So we're going to take out those 12 cards and I am left with a little bit smaller of a deck, but it only has numbers in it. It's got an ace, which makes the number 1. And if you're not sure, it has one symbol on it. This is a diamond. Sometimes we call those a rhombus in class. And it's got 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10. Okay. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to shuffle your cards. I hope you've been practicing. I'm going to break it in 2, put my pointer finger on top, and shuffle the cards. So you might want to shuffle a few times. And then this is the crazy thing. We're going to scatter the cards because this game is called Scatter Math. Let's play. All my cards are spread out here, and it's okay if they're piled on top of each other because what you want is just a big pile of cards. Now, here's the best part. I am going to pick 2 cards to turn over. Wow, I got a 10, and I'm going to go over here. An ace. I got a 1. You will need a paper and pencil, or today I'm going to be using my dry erase board, but I'm going to take those 2 cards and we are going to make a math sentence with them. So I am going to first write 10, and now I get to decide, would I like to add my numbers or subtract? I've already done some addition today. I think I would like to subtract. That means take away. I'm going to write my takeaway symbol, my subtraction sign. And I know that the ace has 1 symbol on it, so I will write the number 1. And we always want Ellie the equals. 10, take away 1. I could even cover up one of the symbols on the 10 and count how many are left. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 take away 1 equals 9. Let's do it again. If you are playing with a partner, this could be your partner's turn. Turn over a number, and I'm going to dig a little bit this time for another one. I got the numbers 3 and 5. Let's make another math equation with these. I put them on my board, or you can put it on your paper. This time, I'm going to add them. 3 plus 5 equals, I'm going to use my counting on method. I'm going to grab my 3 and count on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 looks like a little snowman with no head. Here's the number 8. Do you see how this game is played? You can keep going until you run out of cards on your table. Isn't that a great way to practice your math? This song is about a little animal. It is green, usually, and it likes to hop, and it goes ribbit. Did you guess it? It's about a frog. Now, I don't really have a frog, but this song is called I Have a Little Frog. Let's look at the words, and you can sing along with me. I have a little frog. Look at him. Ready? I have a little frog. His name is Tiny Tim. I put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water and gobbled up the soap. And when he tried to talk, he had a bubble in his throat. Oh, that song is so silly. Don't really eat soap, kiddos. I hope you liked it. And this time we're going to do what I call a guided drawing. So I will give you some instructions and you need to get some supplies to get started. So I decided to use my crayons for this drawing, but you could use markers. You could use paint. You could use a pencil to start and then trace with a pen like a Sharpie. So you decide what you would like to draw with, but I will give you each step. You also need a piece of paper. So I'm using my son Charlie's notebook. He gave me permission. And it has a lot of blank pages in it, but you could also use a newspaper or an envelope or a piece of scratch paper that your parents provide for you, any sort of blank paper. And for our drawing today, mine is not going to be very big, but you could choose to make your drawing really big if you have bigger paper. Okay, let's get started. So I have a lot of colors here, but I like to start with just a basic black because I know that I can color over any of my picture and color it in with the bright colors at the end. So today, I'm not going to tell you what we're drawing. We're going to start by making a big rainbow line. And this rainbow line should fill about half of your page, but you want to make sure that you leave some room on the sides and on the top and definitely on the bottom. We're going to do something really silly and fun on the bottom, so make sure to leave a lot of room for that. Now we're going to do the letter C. So here is the letter C. And on the other side, we're going to flip our C. We're going to flip it like a pancake, and we are going to do a C going the other way. And now here's where a silly fun part, and I encourage you to make your own silly noise when we make this. We're going to make a wavy line that connects our two C's. Ready? I hope you made a silly noise too when you did yours. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw some lines that come down. And each of your lines can come down a different length. Length means size. So some of my lines, I'm going to trace with my finger first. Some of my lines might go down toward the very bottom of the page. Some of mine might come down bloop, really short. But our lines will go mostly straight. It's okay if there's a little curve. And then we're going to give it a little swoop. Let's draw about 5 or 6 little lines that have some curl to them. And again, if it's not perfect, that's a-okay. My favorite thing about art is that it's mine, and 1, 2, 3, 4, I can make it look whichever way I want. You'll notice that some of my swoops, some of my little loops are going to the right, like these ones, and some of them are going to the left. So you can decide which way you want your little swoops to go. But I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you tell what we're drawing yet? Maybe you can. Let's give this little guy, because it is a little guy, a little face. I'm going to do a wide letter U. There's his little smile. If you want to do just an open mouth, you can draw a straight line across to connect that. I'm not going to do that today. And now I'm going to give him just some really basic little eyes with a little circle. If you leave a little bit of white right in the middle, it makes him look a little bit more alive. So I'm going to leave that little bit of white there in his eyes. And now we have what we call a jellyfish. Now, one of my favorite things to add to art are details. So you might want to add a little bit of detail in your jellyfish. And that can include something that you might find under the ocean called bubbles. So I'm going to add a few little spots of bubbles, which are really just O's or circles, and they can come from any direction. I usually do a couple or 3 in a row, and they get a little bit smaller as I draw them. So big, medium, little. You'll see when I go to color, I will not color the inside of those bubbles on mine, but maybe you want to make your bubbles a color. So when you go to color, here's the tricky part. You want to try to color every inch of your paper. And so you want to try to color back and forth, moving in the same direction. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't color fast. I can color fast. I'm still going in the same direction. I'm making a purple jellyfish. But when I get close to something that I don't want to color over, like my eyes, I go a little shorter and a little bit slower. So here we go. I'm going to color for just a minute. Another trick to coloring you'll maybe notice, do you see that my crayon is still pointed? It's because I'm not holding my crayon straight up and down. When you do that, it makes it look like this side looks really flat, and you Might have to peel some of the paper back, which is okay. But if you hold it a little bit different, look at how my hand is holding that crayon. I can move it back and forth quick. And it actually is just getting sharper as a crayon. So that makes it so that you have your nice sharp crayons for longer. Here we go. I'm almost done coloring my jelly in. And sometimes getting the edges is a little hard. If you go outside the lines, is that okay? You bet it is, kiddos. I always tell my class it is A-okay to make mistakes, but it's what you do with that mistake that counts, right? Don't just give up. You want to make sure you do what's called persevere. You keep going even when it feels hard. So there's my little purple jellyfish. And if I was going to finish my whole drawing, I would color the background in. I might even add a little bit more detail I forgot. How about, see if you can tell what this is going to be. A little fish. I'm going to color him in orange, and I can give him a little dot for an eye and a little smile. There's a little Nemo fish for you. So if you would like to do your jellyfish just like mine, feel free to copy, or you can add your own details like I didn't put. You can also use any other drawing utensils. You can use markers or things like that. I hope you have fun drawing your ocean creature, your little jellyfish. I had so much fun working with you today. I wanted to end by bringing one of my little friends. This is Pigeon, and maybe you recognize Pigeon because he gets to be the star of so many very funny and silly books. In fact, I brought a book today. So Mr. Pigeon, he's gonna sit over here. He likes to lay down. So he's gonna lay down over here, and I am going to read you one of his books. It is called The Pigeon Finds a Hot Dog. Now, this book is by an amazing author and illustrator, words and pictures by Mo Willems. And he does guided drawings online too. So if you like to do guided drawings, you can go find some of his doodle videos. But this is such a silly book. I can't wait to read it to you. Here we go. The Pigeon Finds a Hot Dog, with special guest star, the duckling. Mo Willems always has the best things on his covers. So look at all those hot dogs. We'll look at the very end. There's going to be something silly. Oh, he sees something. Look at that hot dog. We can see his eye looking straight over there. The pigeon finds a hot dog. Flap, flap, flap. Oh, a hot dog. Yummy, yummy, yummy. He's so excited. He's dancing and his feathers are flying off. May I help you? Scooty, scoot, scoot. Is that a hot dog? Not a hot dog. My hot dog. Oh, he's wiggling his tail. Huh? I have a question. I've never had a hot dog before. What do they taste like? Well, they are a taste sensation. Ooh, each morsel is a joy, a celebration in a bun. He's writing it down. If you've never experienced the splendor of a hot dog, you should really... Wait a second. He looks incredulous there. This hot dog is mine. I found it. Of course. Enjoy. Go ahead. Would you say that it tastes like chicken? Huh? Can you believe this guy? What? It's going to get really silly here. It just tastes like a hot dog, okay? Okay. Wow, the pigeon looks mad. Look how big those words are. This is like, he's grumbling. He's mad. So it doesn't taste like chicken then? Oh, for Pete's sake! Hey, I'm a curious bird. That's it! Boom! His words were so loud they knocked the little duckling over. It's my hot dog, right? Mine, mine, mine! This is unbelievable! He's stomping his feet. Finders keepers, is what I say. I'm a curious bird. What do they taste like? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. I can't take it anymore. What am I supposed to do? I think I've got an idea. You know, you're pretty smart for a duckling. Needs mustard. Look, he shared it. That was so nice. Tell me if you see something different on this last back page. Did you find it? There it is. That's silly Mo Willems. What a great author he is. There's a lot of elephant and piggy books and pigeon books, all by this same author. Go ahead and find yourself your own little pigeon. All right, all you cats and kittens, it was so nice to work with you today. Thank you so much for joining us on Medford Anywhere Learning TV. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Medford Anywhere Learning TV. Medford School District is a place where all are learning, and learning is for all.
Oh, I've loved all my teachers from kindergarten to 4th grade.
They've taught us just to be passionate, and they're super passionate about what they're doing. I don't think it would be possible for them to have the job if they weren't passionate about it.
Well, they definitely show a big role model, especially in elementary school when it's a lot easier to be molded.
If you do good, you get treats sometimes with candy and stuff like that, and they're really nice.
I always like to teach her with a lot of high energy and but hands-on too, because I'm more of a hands-on learner.
We learn a lot at school, and so every day I come home knowing a lot more than I did.
She's always been so intrigued with my life stories, and she's told me a couple stories of her own, how she's gone through a lot of stuff to get where she's at right now, and once you hear that, it's a big inspiration to not you, but just everybody else around you.
I would like to say that I've liked all of my teachers so far. Not a single one I haven't liked. They're all involved in all the students, even Mrs. Feely, who had 2 different grade levels in one class.
They work hard, and that's something that is lost in this day and age, and I just respect what they do.
I wouldn't be interested in biology or horticulture 2 years ago, and their passion influences their students to just go and take that career path.
Thank you, Medford School District teachers.
Thank you to all the Medford School District's wonderful teachers.
You do a really great job at everything you do.
Thank you to all the hardworking Medford District teachers. Your work is very much appreciated to everyone in the school.
You've changed my life, and thank you for the experience.